What's up? Welcome back. So it's been 2 or 3 days since the huge controller sensitivity update. So in this video, I'm kind of just going to be going through and progressively learning what each of these settings do and kind of trying to figure out which settings I like the most. So they went in and added all these settings, but as you can see, I haven't even messed with them yet. I don't actually use any of these settings as of yet because I like all my normal settings and I don't really want to go in and mess up my aim, but it needs to be done. I need to figure out all these settings. I need to learn them. And so that's what this video is going to be, hopefully going through and learning about them and teaching you guys something about them. So to start off, my normal settings look like this. So looking up and down, I have it at a 0.635, I think. And then looking around, I have it at a 0.735. So it's not that fast. But then when I go into build, I have my build multiplier as 1.5. So when I go to build, it's a little quicker, still not super fast, but that's what I've been used to. And then my ADS sensitivity is 0.5, so that's full. Usually when I'm tracking, I'm going about this speed. Shotgun aim. Yeah. I do pretty well with my settings, which is why I haven't really looked at it or done much of anything with it. But if now I go down to the bottom, use legacy look controls, turn that off, and copy from legacy settings. So copy these settings, copy all of these settings to these ones. So if I click copy from legacy, it changes whatever. I get a 51% horizontal speed, look vertical speed is 48%. Okay, I click apply. Now that looks pretty normal. My build sense seems to be a little faster, and this seems to be about right. So actually, I wonder if they changed something out of this. Because the other day when I tried it, it was not the same at all. Maybe I clicked copy from basic on accident. That's very possible. This does feel like my normal sensitivity. Alright, well, so I guess we'll go in and still try to learn about them. But I guess my settings are actually decent now. So once I figure out what all the settings do, I'll run through at the end and go through everything that I have set. But right now I'm just trying to figure stuff out. When I turn horizontal right now, alright, I'm kind of just, it's just going. An additional left/right rotation speed applied when the controller's look stick is fully deflected. Using boost allows for quicker turns while maintaining look precision. Set to 0% to disable horizontal boost. So if we set this to 100%, okay, that makes sense. So with this, if your stick, right here, if you can see, if your stick, see, it's going slower, slower. So this is about what my normal one is. And then this multiplies that by however much percent. So if it's fully clicked all the way, it'll turn really quickly. Let's see, they have the default set at around 16%, it looks like. You know, all these settings might change in the future, but for now, we'll keep that. We'll keep 16%. And then this obviously is going to be the same, just looking up and down instead of horizontally. So you're definitely going to notice more of the horizontal than the vertical because you don't usually fully max out your thumbstick looking vertically. I mean, sometimes maybe, but it's not often where you have to go from here all the way to the sky to look up. So usually you just do like slight little jerks to go for the headshot or whatever it is. Alright, let's move on. Turning boost ramp time. The time it takes to reach the boost speed when the controller's look stick is fully deflected. A setting of 0.0 causes the boost to kick in instantly. So 0.0 would just be this turned on. I can definitely notice the vertical on it. Horizontal I can't notice as much, but right there when I do that edit, I can definitely tell. It feels a bit quicker. And I like my builds to be pretty smooth for the most part, so I don't really like the like super fast jerky movements, but this still seems like it's decently smooth. I wonder what happens if we turn this on. So when we build and we max it out, it instantly goes instead of taking 0.2 seconds. Yeah, you see how jerky that looks? I think my build sense might be too fast. Get on a 0.1. That seems about where I was before. So that would mean, yeah, alright, that's way better. It's not so like jerky movement, looks like controller movement. So that would mean my edit mode sensitivity needs to go down, because I've had that. Alright, that seems good. ADS turning horizontal boost. Yeah, I definitely don't want that. ADS turning boost time. Well, it's not gonna do any boost, so the ADS looks about normal. Alright, that seems pretty good. So now we're on the kind of final set of them. Look dampening time. The time it takes to reach the expected look rotation speed after applying initial input to the controller's look stick. This allows for small view adjustments by tapping the stick. Set to 0 seconds to disable the dampening. Someone that I actually play with said he set this to 0 and it felt really nice. So I'm barely tapping the stick here, as you can see. Just barely going. So I guess it just allows for maybe really precise movements. So let's see if we set this to 100. Setting it to 0 and then all the way to 1 is probably the best thing, is probably the best way to be able to see what that setting actually does, because you can actually feel it instead of just looking and being like, oh yeah, I think I see a difference. You can really feel it. So now yeah, as you can see now, if I tap the stick, I don't go nearly as far. But once you're fully locked or whatever, obviously, it's just with little taps at the very start. You can see how long it takes. It takes 1 full second to get from slow to fast. So with that on 0, it'll just go right away. So I think I'm going to keep that at its normal 0.2, because it feels really like jerky doing it like this. I don't know. I think for now I'm going to keep it at 0.2, and then we'll change that maybe in the future. Flea on YouTube, he's a pretty good controller player, and I watched kind of him try to figure out all these settings. He said this is very important. He said it's very hard to play on linear. So it says defines how input from the controller's look stick is processed. Linear uses a raw stick input. Exponential causes smaller stick movement to have less of an effect, allowing for more precision. So it's kind of more like keyboard and mouse. Like if you move your mouse, it's going to go exactly where you want it to go. That's where it's going to go. But with controller, because you're using a stick instead, it's a little harder to do that. So like, oh, this just, it feels like it might even look like keyboard or mouse because you're touching the stick more and it's obviously you're using your thumb, so it's not as precise and stuff. So doing this, let me just try to build. Alright. As you can see, it's really hard to control. Alright, it's really hard to control. So that 100% should be exponential always. Aim assist strength. Okay, I have mine set at 85% because of something I saw on Twitter. I saw on Twitter people were saying that when you are ADSing, aiming down your sights with a gun, and you get really close to any target, whether it's a person if you're in a normal game or just any target, it slows it way down and it makes it hard to be able to track it. So they said they found that setting it to 80 or 85% fixed that problem, but those are just two random people on Twitter. So I'm not sure. People said that if you were trying to track something, that it kind of slow down when it got near the target, but it doesn't actually seem like these targets have aim assist. So I'm not sure why that is, but you know what I mean, that if it gets by it, it like kind of lags behind and then your ADS sensitivity gets really slow. And so people have it set to 85 instead of 100%. So I guess you'll have to go in and mess with that on your own because I don't know how to figure all this creative stuff out. Sorry about that. But here's the overview of what all my settings are. As of now, these could definitely change and probably will change over the coming days. If I feel like weird or feel that something's off and want to change it, then obviously I'm going to change it and then I'll update this video within probably a month's time once I get completely comfortable. So build mode sensitivity 1.1, edit mode 1.0, advanced options have to be on, horizontal speed 51%, vertical speed 48%, horizontal and vertical boost both 16%, the turning boost ramp time 0.2%, 0.20 seconds. These three are all the default. So instant boost when building I have off. ADS look horizontal speed is 24%, ADS look vertical speed is 23%, which I'm actually going to turn that down a bit because I had it quite a bit lower than I did. I had it at 0.635 and my horizontal at a 0.76 or something. So it should probably be about that. I just didn't notice it because I'm not really fighting people or doing stuff with guns yet. ADS turning horizontal boost, I don't think I'd like any of these. I know I wouldn't like any of these, so those are both on 0%. And then this doesn't matter because I'm not using those. So that's, you can put it on 0.2 if you want. Look dampening time, I'm going to keep at 0.2 seconds for now. Look input curve, definitely have that on exponential. Very important. Aim assist strength, I'm going to be leaning in between about probably 85 to 100%. I'm going to play some Zone Wars, play some pubs, and come back to it, see how it works. But for now, obviously, you want the most aim assist possible, because why not? If they're going to give it to you, you're going to use it. Use legacy look controls, no, because you're using these. And then, like I said at the beginning, if you're going to go in and mess with all your settings like I just did, make sure to copy from legacy first and then go through and make adjustments from there. Don't start from scratch. It's going to be very hard to get everything back to where you want it. This will put it at least around where it was before. You might have to adjust it a little bit. It doesn't seem like it's perfect, but it'll put it right in the ballpark of where you're going to want it. hopefully I helped you out a little bit on this. So thank you guys for watching. Drop a like if I helped you, or if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.